The next item is our action agenda, and since we want to have all of them vote, I'll do a little soft shoe or something.
You got four. We got to sing.
No, I'm not
got a
going to
quorum.
sing. Yeah, we'll do. As the presentation was being made about our new facilities, and I think Mr. McAllister talked about this, about how the pride, and there is a concept in public administration that is called the window pane theory, and I'm sure several of y'all know that theory, and that is proven, and it's been a long time since I read up on it, that areas where the windows are broken and everything is just falling apart, that the people look at that and they don't have pride in the area, so they don't want to keep it up. They don't want, so what if we drop trash? So what if we do this? It already looks horrible. Yet, when people are living or working in a facility that they can take pride in, like what we have, there is really a renewed sense of responsibility and ownership, and everyone wants to pitch in and make sure that we keep the facilities nice. So I think that we could be a fine example of that theory. And although I don't think anyone was misusing our buildings, but it really is a sense of pride. I think we'll go ahead with the selected employment items, which is item number 13, the items considered in executive session. And so therefore I will take a motion. Does anyone have a motion? Ms. Bumgardner.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the items of employment as shown in Exhibit A.
Okay, do I have a second? Ms. Lovelace seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please raise your hands. All opposed, and that passes 6-0. Next is number 14, approval of the resolution to refund bonds.
Mr. Richardson, would you introduce our guest this evening?
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Hefner. Mike Gallagher is here to hopefully present this resolution to you and answer any questions that you might have.
Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen of the board, it's a pleasure to be here with you tonight. In your package, you had a resolution to refund a series of bonds that we issued back in 2010. Those were done as Build America bonds. And as you remember, back in 2013, we did a refunding as well, where because of the federal sequestration, we had the opportunity to call those bonds early. So back in 2013, we refunded a series of bonds that we had done that were Build America bonds. The federal government, 2013, 14, and 15, has reduced the direct payment, direct credit that we received as a part of these Build America bonds. So before you tonight, you have a resolution to consider refunding Series 2010 B's bonds. What I've handed you tonight is economic analysis of it. You see the area in blue is the prior bonds, which there was $68.5 million outstanding. The area in purple shows what those bonds would look like if we went out into the market today and issued these at current market rates. The savings would be approximately $200,000 a year and aggregate total of roughly $2 million. These are market rates. They are subject to change. The savings could be higher or it could be lower depending on the day that we access the market. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
All right. Do we have any questions for Mr. Gallagher? We love to see savings, so. All right. I think that's, do you have anything else to report?
There was a resolution that was in your packet.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Mr. Gant.
I just wanted to clarify for the audience too, what we're doing is reissuing these bonds, and the bottom line is approximately $200,000 a year or $2 million savings over the life of the bond, so.
Yeah,
there's-
much like you would refinance your house for interest savings, you could, by doing this, that's going to be an extra $200,000 that the district will get the benefit of that just would not be going to the bondholders.
Right. And just for clarification, I'm trying to think back to a time that I heard this, but wasn't there a period during this bond referendum that we were actually, I don't know if we ever got to borrow the money, but had a chance to borrow money at a 0% interest under Build America bonds?
We did that through some qualified school construction bonds, and so if you'll notice, if you look out in 2026, we don't have anything maturing at that point in time. That's
Right.
where about $10 million of the qualified school construction bonds, so to keep everything smooth, 10 years down the road from now, that's why those have a zero maturity in that 1 year.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gant, for making that very clear. Okay, if there's no other questions, I will accept a motion on item number 14. Mr. Gant.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move that we adopt this resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of not exceeding $69 million in general obligation refunding bond series 2015B or such other appropriate series designation of School District 5 of Lexington County and Richland County, South Carolina.
Is there a second? Ms. Bumgarner seconds. Any discussion? Further questions? Yes, Ms.
Just a
Hammond.
clarification.
Certainly.
So this would authorize whenever we need it, that they don't have to come back to us for this, right? I mean, this is our,
Yes, that's,
yeah.
I'm getting head signals from
that
Mr.
right?
Gallagher.
Mr.
Yes.
Ms.
Yes,
Watson.
Mr. Gant.
I didn't use this entire verbiage. Mr. Gallagher, do I need to have every bit of that in there, including the authorizing this? Okay. I think I ended at the appropriate place then. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so the motion is to approve the resolution you have in your board packet. We have a second. All in favor, please raise your hands. All opposed, and that passes 6-0. Mr. Gallagher, thank you so much for bringing us the good news and making that wonderful recommendation and always watching out for our money. Thank you for being here. Next on our agenda, number 15, is the selection of delegates for the School Board Association 2015 Delegate Assembly. And if you remember, as in previous years, this is the assembly where the whole body of the South Carolina School Boards Association votes and decides and votes on the legislative agenda and priorities for the upcoming legislative session. Mr. Gant, did I describe that? I turn to you as the president of that wonderful organization.
You described it to a T.
Okay. And so I'm not sure if everyone at this table is attending. If so, is everyone attending?
Planning to.
Okay, wonderful. So we have, let's see, how many? Six. Okay, well, there you go. So it looks like if we can have a motion to choose the delegates. So, Mr. Gant, did I see your hand raised?
You did, and I wanted to ask you, I'm going to be
Oh, sure.
real involved that day in the whole procedure.
Yes, you
might not.
And I'm
will.
sitting among board members I really trust, so I'd like to, since there's 6 of us here, I'd like to, if I was going to get one of these votes in our official voting here, I'd like to defer that to somebody else that'll be on the floor handling that, if you all don't mind. And you put me down as
Thank
an
you.
alternate in case something came up.
Okay, thank you. That is right. You will be quite busy. Thank you for saying that. So do I have a motion for the delegates? Anyone?
Do you need them individually named or collectively? board?
I think go ahead for the record. Let's go ahead and say the names.
Okay.
If you
You want me
would.
to make a motion?
If you would. Thank you, Ms. Hammond.
I'd make a motion for Mr. Halterwanger, Ms. Bumgardner, Ms. Watson, Ms. Lovis, and Mr. White, even though he isn't here, and myself, to be delegates to the 2015 South Carolina School Board's Delegate Assembly.
Okay, I'm not sure that if
Do we need to
if we can add.
collectively do it? Oh,
No. If we can remove Mr. White from that, we don't know if
Because we
he'll.
haven't asked him. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
we don't know if
Okay.
he's going to be able to make it, and if I'll change my last name to Hutchison.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Habits are bad.
That's all right.
Ms. Stowers, you have that then, my mistake. I will take Mr. White's name out. And I think, yeah,
Or we could have the chair have two.
or the chair have 2 votes.
Okay. Okay.
Thank
And then,
you.
thank you. Is there a second to that? Ms. Bumgarner seconds. Any discussion or need clarification on that? That was, okay, seeing none. All in favor of the selection of delegates, please raise your hand. All opposed, and that passes 6-0. Thank you. And the last part of, last but certainly not least, is the superintendent's evaluation for 2014, 2015.